Emily sat on the bed, eyes locked on her twin Nelly with disdain, a knife secretly clenched in her hand. Nelly was sleeping peacefully while Emily held onto the knife underneath her pillow and kept looking at her sister and waiting for the best opportunity to execute her plan. She was done living under the shadows of her twin sister. They were twins, yes, but her jealousy of Nelly grew into hatred the day their mother Uche told her she could never be as good as Nelly. Emily wondered why her mother disliked her so much but loved her twin sister as though she was an angel. She remembered the day their mother was cooking and the things she said to her. She was the one who helped her mother in the kitchen while Nelly was watching a movie in the sitting room. "Why are you so slow pounding the pepper?" If it was Nelly, she would have been done pounding by now, their mother said. Still in the kitchen, Emily offered to slice the vegetable leaves for the soup. While slicing, she mistakenly cut her finger and threw the knife on the floor because she was bleeding. Her mother's reaction made her sad. "Careless child, just to slice the vegetable. You got your finger sliced. Why are you always careless, Emily? Why can't you be like your sister Nelly, who is always very smart and careful?" Emily also remembered uncountable times she had done well in school, but their mother would not praise her. But it was different with Nelly. Their mother would praise Nelly and encourage her to do better next time, while she would tell Emily that she was useless and could not amount to anything good. Severally, Emily would hide and cry, wondering if it was her mother who really gave birth to her. She did not need to be told that truly she was her mother's daughter because she and Nelly were identical twins. Then why did her mother hate her so much while showing all the love to her twin sister? What was her offense, she wondered. She had talked to her father about her mother's behavior, but her father, Mr. Dan, would tell her that her mother did not hate her and that she was showing her some discipline. He would waive Emily's complaint as though it was nothing. Emily sat on the bed that night, remembering all of the mean things her mother had said and done to her. She remembered how she slapped her that afternoon because she did not wash the plate in the kitchen very well, comparing it to how clean Nelly usually washed the dishes. Tears began to drop from her eyes as she once again looked at her sister who was deeply asleep. Then she carefully brought out the knife under her pillow and without thinking twice, she aimed it at Nelly's stomach. Nelly screamed and woke up, holding her stomach. When she saw that she did not feel any pain, there was no blood, and that her sister was peacefully asleep beside her, she then realized it was a nightmare. She wondered why her twin sister would do such to her in her dream and decided to tell her about the dream in the morning. The next morning, Nelly woke up to her greatest shock. Emily was lying in her pool of blood. She had stabbed herself in the middle of the night. Nelly screamed at the top of her voice and her parents rushed into the room. They met Nelly holding on to Emily, who was lifeless in a pool of blood. They were confused for a moment. Their mother broke down and began to cry, while their father grabbed his car key and carried Emily to the car. Nelly followed her parents to the hospital, where her twin sister was rushed to the emergency room. They were not allowed to the room, so she and her parents paced up and down the hallway, waiting for the doctor. A few hours later, the doctor came out, looking stressed out. He called their father, Mr. Dan, aside and spoke in a low tone to him. "We tried our best, but she had lost a lot of blood before you brought her here. I'm so sorry, Mr. Dan. We lost her." Uche, their mother, and Nelly could tell from their father's expression when he got to them that Emily did not make it. "We lost her," Mr. Dan said to his wife and daughter, and they all broke down in tears. That evening, Emily was buried in a cemetery. When they returned home after the burial, Uche went to their daughter's room. She sat on Emily's bed and began to cry afresh. She grabbed her clothes and held them tight, still crying. She opened Emily's cupboard and was surprised to see a paper with a handwritten letter from Emily neatly placed in the cupboard. She brought it out and began to read it. Dear Mom, I'm sorry I had to do this. I have always wondered if I was your daughter or adopted. All my life, I've always tried to please you. All my existence, I've always craved to love you, for you to love me. I've always longed for you to show me a little compassion. But it seems everything I do fuels your anger towards me. I have so many whys to ask you. But before you get to answer them, I guess I won't be here anymore. Mommy, why? Why do you hate me so much? Why did you choose Nelly over me all the time? Why do you enjoy humiliating me? Why do you love Nelly and hate me so much? What's my crime? Why does my presence irritate you? I'm very certain you'll be happy if I'm no longer here, and I'm about to make that happen. You made me want to hate Nelly because of the love you showed her. But I realize it's not her fault. If God blesses you with another child, please love them the way you love Nelly. Love them equally and remind them how precious they all are to you. Don't love one of your children and dislike the other. Else, what happened to me will keep happening. Goodbye, Mommy. I will always love you. Uche cried uncontrollably, pressing the letter to herself as if it were her dead daughter. She remembered the scenario that took place the day she wanted to give birth to Nelly and Emily. It happened that the day she wanted to give birth to her twins, she was able to push out Nelly easily, but when it was time for Emily to be pushed out, she almost died because Emily refused to come out easily like Nelly did. It took her all her energy before she was able to push out Emily. So right there, she began to dislike her innocent daughter without even knowing, because she almost died in the process of giving birth to her. I'm so sorry, Emily. I'm so sorry. I loved you, and I still do. I just allowed the situation that surrounded your birth to make me dislike you. I'm so sorry, my daughter. Please forgive me. Sadly, her tears did not bring back her dead daughter. She lived in regret for the rest of her life and promised herself that when God gives her more children, she would love them all equally. The end.